Good morning. It's time for the next part of Pilgrim's Progress. Last week, if you remember, we saw as Christian continued on his journey and two of his friends from the City of Destruction tried to stop him from keeping going. One was called Stubborn and the other was called, do you remember? Yeah, he was called Change His Mind. And Change His Mind actually came with Christian on the journey, but it wasn't too long before he turned his back because they fell into the swamp of sadness, where Christian was filled with regret and fear and worry and all these things that made him want to turn back. But before long, he was being helped out of the swamp by a man called Help. And as we left him, he was keeping on his journey. So let's see what happens next. And so Christian carried on his journey. He was very happy to have been helped out from the swamp of sadness. He hadn't been walking too long when he saw someone up ahead.
Well, good afternoon. It's been a long time since I've seen anyone walk these paths. Where are you off to, especially with such a large burden on your back?
I'm going to the Celestial City, and I know I have to get through a narrow gate to get there. I just have to stick to the path.
Would you be at all interested in hearing some of my advice?
Why, yes, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Well, if you want to get anywhere, you're going to have to get rid of that great big burden on your back.
I know. Evangelist told me where to go.
Evangelist, tut-tut. Always giving people more to do than they need to. Always telling people to go and do such difficult things. Where has he got you to go so far? Judging by the mud on your clothes, you've already fallen into the swamp of sadness. Listen to me. I'm far older and wiser than you. The swamp was only the beginning. Keep going and you'll only meet with pain and hunger and danger and lions, darkness. You know, that sort of thing.
I know it's not going to be easy, but this burden on my back, it's more terrible than any of those things you just mentioned.
Oh, I know it's terrible. All I'm saying is that there's an easier way to go about doing these things.
Follow this path here. It's far more pleasant. And you'll find a hill. And on top of that hill is a man called Follow the Rules. He'll help you get rid of that burden in no time at all.
Then that's what I'll do. Thank you so much for your help.
And so off Christian went, away from the path that Evangelist had told him about. And although the path started off easily, he soon reached a steep hill. He started to climb. This wasn't going to be as easy as he thought. And suddenly he heard a voice from the top.
Where do you think you're going? You must stick to the rules. You must obey. Don't do that. Do this. You are not good enough to climb this hill. You'll never be good enough to climb this. Who do you think you are? Turn back. You're a failure.
The burden on Christian's back felt heavier than ever. This is too hard. I can't follow all these laws. I can't follow all these rules. I'm gonna fall. Ah! And with a great big thud, he fell.
Well, I'll be. Is that you, Christian? What on earth happened to you?
Well, there was this man, and he told me that it would be easier if I came this way, and I guess I listened to him, and I started climbing, but it's too hard. It's clear I'm not good enough.
Well, I bet it were that Mr. Know-It-All. Was he wearing fine and dandy clothes and chatting with a posh accent? Well, don't listen to a word he says. Now then, Christian, I won't have any of that chat about you being good enough for the Celestial City. Haven't you read the book? King Jesus, he's the one the book's about. He's the only one good enough. You get into the Celestial City because of him and what he's done, not you. Now be on your way and be careful who you listen to. I'm serious. And stick to that path.
So we've reached the end of another week and another dangerous time for Christian. Would he make it to the celestial city? We'll find out on his progress next week.